So like I said, today is just going to be about best practices for using Microsoft Outlook. I'm going to try and hit on all these little agenda items here, um, throw in a couple of other little things that I wanted to touch on, and we'll leave the end for questions and answers. So first thing I wanted to just quickly go over key features of Microsoft Outlook, right? We know that there's a desktop application. So I'm going to stop sharing that. And I'm going to share my whole screen real quick. So you have your desktop application of Microsoft Outlook right here. Just a little pre-warning, which is kind of what Cliff and I encountered about 5 minutes ago. Microsoft Outlook is kind of coming out with a new desktop preview version app. So if for some reason that comes up and pops up as available to you, you shouldn't panic, but it looks very similar to the desktop version actually. So if that happens, you do have the ability to turn that off and stick with your regular Outlook desktop app that you're used to. And then we can slowly train on the new one if that is more comfortable for people. So this is your desktop app, and this is your web version. So again, depending on preference, depending on your comfort, you can work in both. Some people just work in one and not the other, but they all are synced and talk to each other, so it doesn't matter which one you feel comfortable using. But just having the ability to use either one is great, especially the web version, because if you're not on your desktop computer and you're at, say, a home computer or a different computer anywhere, you could always log in and access your email. The other option is the mobile app version. If you use this link, which I'll put in the chat. Sorry, 1 second. I have 3 screens that I'm just moving around. Give me 1 second. I'll throw this link in the chat. This link, if you put your cell phone number in at the bottom, if you scroll down, it'll send you the option to download the Microsoft Outlook app on your phone. This is not something you have to do. Obviously, you all have personal phones. I just like to show people that it's an option. However, and Cliff, if you could just correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that if you do check your work email on your personal phone, that NASA BOCES would prefer you use the Outlook app.
Yeah, it's not even a prefer at this point. You can no longer sync your mail with the native mail applications that are on mobile devices. You have to use the Outlook app. It's a policy.
Okay, so good. I'm glad I clarified that. Thank you. Like I said, I put the link in the chat for you, and you just throw your cell phone or email address right here at the bottom, and it'll send you the option to download, or you could pull this up right on your cell phone and then just click download based off which app store you need. So that's how you get the mobile app. All right, and we are going to pop into the desktop version of Microsoft Outlook, and I'm going to go over a few different things. First is the views. I do find it important to go over this because I think it helps how people are looking at their main screen when they are in the Outlook. You can see I have mine set up in a way that works for me, so I'll just go over this. And if you have questions around this or other questions regarding the way that you set up your views, let us know at the end because, again, some certain things work for different people. But right now I have what's called the conversation view turned on. So what I like about that is if you're in a text thread, you don't see each individual email in that thread as a separate email, but actually is in a conversation view. So a back and forth and a back and forth. And you just click that drop down arrow and it'll show you all of the emails that have gone back in that thread, but it doesn't clutter up your inbox, which is something that I really like. So if you go to view, right here it says show as conversations, and you just check that off. And that'll give you this view. Another option is the focused inbox. Again, some people love it, some people don't. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, so I turn it off, and I just like all of my emails coming into one main inbox. And then the other option is the unread, which is a default. So all and unread. Some people may have focused. You can turn it off. I've gotten that question a lot, and like I said, I like to turn it off because I kind of find it confusing, but it's all preference. I just like to show everybody their options. The other view that is something I think is really, really great is turning on your to-do bar option here up at the top right. I have right now the calendar checked off. So that means that even when I'm checking my email, right, I see my kind of quick view of my calendar for the day on the right-hand side. I think this is nice because as we know, you have to click into the calendar app to see your calendar for the day, or have your calendar popped open in a different window, which is another option. But if you are in your email, oops, sorry about that. If you're in your email, it's really nice to just see your kind of events for your day, your schedule for the day in a quick view while you're checking your email. So I always encourage people to turn on that to-do bar calendar. And you can also turn on the tasks. So if you use flags or reminders of any way, you can actually turn that option on too, and those will show up at the bottom of the calendar view. So again, just another really great way to view your Outlook screen. Just different options. All right, on to best practices. Okay, so rules, again, can be super helpful. A lot of people complain about the amount of emails that come into their inbox in a day, right? So if you set up rules for certain emails that are coming into your inbox, it really will help to kind of move those emails and kind of help the flow of your emails, and not make it feel so overwhelming. So at the top of your ribbon bar up here under the move section is rules. If you click on an email and then click rules, it kind of will automatically default for you to that message. And so that you're setting the rule for that message, which I think is helpful. So if you get a lot of, I'm going to use the Office of Information because that's the one that I actually used in my video when I did the what the tech video on this. I clicked on that Office of Information email, and then I clicked Always Move Messages From, which is right here, and I created a folder on where I wanted all of those emails that come in from the Office of Information. I created an Office of Information folder, and I put those directly, and I created the rule that will put those directly in there when they come into my inbox. And then I can choose when I go into that folder to view. So again, if I wanted to move all of these emails into a folder without me having to do that manually every time they come in, click on that email, click rules, always move messages from. If you have the folder created already, you can click on that folder and then OK. If you do not have the folder created, you can create it right here. You would just click New. It will ask you to name the folder, and it will ask you where you want that folder to live. Then you click OK, and you create the role. Just let me know again in the chat or at the end if you have any questions regarding that. Rules, again, can really be set in a bajillion different ways. I just like to show that one because most of the time people complain the most about emails that they're getting in a mass amount that they want to be able to move into certain locations automatically. But you can always create a rule straight from a blank create rule screen. You can create rules based off of a subject content. You can play a specific sound when a certain email comes in. I actually really think that's a cool feature as well. So if you wanted to actually create a rule from scratch, just click the rules and then create rule, and here you'll have those options.
Theresa, if I may add another use case while you're moving
Please.
on. So one of the ways that I use rules is that I am the lucky recipient of a lot of Microsoft invoices for the organization because of my role as an administrator of the tenant, but I don't care for those invoices. However, they have to come to me. So I used to forever, every time I got an Azure usage bill or an ordering bill or whatever it may be, I used to manually take those and forward them to 4 different people all at the same time. But I always had to remember to do it because they're important. They have to get paid. So I was like, you know what? I'm just being silly about the whole thing. I took one of the emails. I said, create a rule. I said, anytime it includes this subject and includes, from this sender, and I identified
Mhm.
obviously the sender as being Microsoft. I said, take this and forward it to these people. So now I just don't even have to worry about it. It comes in, I get a copy, I can see what's going on, but I also know that those emails are automatically being forwarded now. I don't have to worry about them to the appropriate people that can care for them.
And that you could do in advanced settings. So if you did come in to create rule, just click advanced options and it would give you that option here. Yeah. So that's another great way to kind of help automate your inbox, which is always helpful. Okay, next thing is categories, one of my favorite. Um, I like to organize. I like to see things kind of in color. It helps me to visualize and kind of get an overview snapshot of things that are coming in and my day and how my workflow is kind of organized. So you can see here, I have kind of these little colored bars. Those are my categories. So I actually added my categories up at the top, which is a quick step, I believe it's called, um, to be able to put this up here so I can easily tap into my categories. I again like this because if I click this category here, it's now going to search and give me every single thing that I categorized under that category, including anything that is sitting on my calendar that is categorized under that category. So it just makes things really, really simple. And I'll show you real quick. If I go to my calendar, those colors also correspond to events on my calendar. So you can categorize both for your calendar and in your email. If you're in your email and you want to categorize an email, there's a few ways you could do it. I like to right click and then scroll down to where it says categorize and choose the category. And again, it just puts this little bar or this banner up on the top of that email. And if you go into all categories, here's where you can edit. Microsoft defaults these, I think they give you about 5 or 6 default colors, like the rainbow colors, and it'll just say red, orange, yellow. You can go in and edit these and change the names. You could change the colors. You could do all of that right here. So it
Just
doesn't have to
to
stay.
piggyback back on the rules,
Hmm.
you can also say, at any time, if you work across multiple work groups, things like that, you can take certain senders and automatically, based on rules, assign it to a category.
Yep. And all, like I said, all that stuff you can do in the advanced settings. They drill down into so many different options. So again, categories I find very helpful for just organization. Okay, the search bar up at the top. This is great. Great. You can search a person. You can search a file. You can just search one word, a keyword, and just see if you're looking for something. You can't remember if it was in an email or where it came from, and you just remember the word or something about it. Here's the search bar, and it will bring up a plethora of things, depending on obviously what you search. You actually can also search for a setting in here as well. So if there's something you can't specifically find in your ribbon, but you want to use or change, you can always search for that here. So if I just, for example, click on Cliff, right? It's going to default to search my current mailbox for anything that has to do with him. And then I can always go up to the top and change that. So I can change that out of current mailbox. I can change it to all mailboxes. But then I can also really drill down. If I click this drop down arrow here, I can actually really drill down into the specific search options that I want. Like if I know he sent me an attachment that contains the word webinar, right? I really want to drill down and find that. I can add those options here and then click search. So obviously here, there's nothing that he sent me that had any word of the word webinar in it. So that's why nothing came up here. Um, but the ability to drill down and really search for specific items in a specific way is very, very helpful. Most people don't know that little drop down arrow is there. So I definitely suggest using that. Moving on to getting out of there. Okay, moving on to email etiquette. Again, this is stuff that I did also go over in a What the Tech video, but just very simple. If you're in a new email, if you open up a new email, Your to field is the person you are directly addressing your email to. Your CC field, you want to use that more of kind of a notification to somebody like, hey, kind of pay attention to this email, but it's not directed at you per se. And BCC is your blind carbon copy. So that means that everyone in that group is not going to see the other recipients and vice versa. So it's a good way to maybe send out those mass emails that you don't necessarily need a response from. So you'll notice that a lot of times the Office of Information, my emails, they all come actually from a BCC. Well, I send them by using the BCC field. So I just wanted to go over that real quick. And at mentions, I think are really, really great. So for example, if I am typing an email, I don't even want to put you in there yet, Cliff, but if I am in the body of the email, I can actually just start typing in my email and at mention Cliff. Wow. Cliff, you got all these things that just popped up that never happened before. Usually your main one just pops up.
Yeah.
That's so funny. What is happening? Did I spell your name wrong? No.
No,
Why can't I find you?
I didn't tell you. Sorry.
Always the first person that pops up. This is hysterical. Oh, I don't I don't know what's happening. Anyway, if I clicked this, because we'll just say that that's Cliff's email, as you can see, it automatically pops him into the to field automatically. So anytime you at mention somebody in an email, it will automatically put them in the to field. So you don't have to do it twice, which is really nice. But what I love about at mentions is it really specifically kind of focuses if you have a few people in the email that you're sending this email to, it just gives that group of people a focus on what their exact task is in the email. So I really love at mentions for that. But also you can search by at mentions. So if you were at mentioned, and if you want to search for all the emails that maybe you were at mentioned in the search bar, you can do that as well. So it's a really useful feature. Signatures, I also did a what the tech video on this. I definitely suggest using the templates that we have for you on the website. They're easy. You just copy and paste them right in and edit your stuff and hit save, and you're good to go. Okay, and that's that. Really quickly, also, if you go to options when you're sending an email, you do have the option to request a delivery receipt and a read receipt. So if you check these boxes off or one of the boxes, delivery receipt will send you an email once your email was delivered to the recipient, and a read receipt, only if the recipient agrees, will send you an email telling you that your email was read. Okay, back to message. Okay, these two things I definitely want to show you really quickly. Dictate, I think, is great. It's kind of a voice to text. So if you click dictate, I don't know if it's going to work while I'm on, but let's see. Oh, it does. So as I'm talking, it's actually typing the email out for me. Talk about multitasking. Exclamation point. Yay. So again, just sometimes people don't want to use their fingers. They just want to talk what they have to say, and it will dictate that information right into the body of the email for you. Along with that, if you go to immersive reader on an email that you are drafting or on an email that was sent to you, it will give you the ability to have that email read aloud to you. So that, again, I'm not sure if you guys can hear this. Probably not. Cliff, can you hear that?
No.
Yeah, okay, because I didn't share the audio. But it's reading my email aloud to me. So again, another way to be able to easily multitask. So I definitely wanted to show you guys that. Okay, hyperlink. A lot of people ask me questions about this. There's a few ways to do it. So from in the body of the email up at the top, it says link here. If it's a file you have in your OneDrive, you can it'll automatically pop up your recent file. So for example, if I wanted to put this into the body, it automatically hyperlinks it for me, which is really great. If I don't see the file that I know I have in my OneDrive and I want to search for that file, I can click search for files here. But if it's a random link, I can click insert file. and then I can pull a link from the internet, paste it into the address here. And what I really recommend is where it says text to display, change that so that it looks a little bit nicer. Um, you know, I'm going to type this out. What the tech website. So this way, it gives the title of the link as opposed to all of that whole entire URL. So a little cleaner for people to see. So then you click OK. And now you can see here, sorry, I should have entered. So you can see here now that that hyperlink is there. You can also hyperlink after you've already typed something. So for example, if you want to say, check out this website, I can highlight the word website, then go to link, insert link, and now paste that address there. And now just the word here, website, has that hyperlink embedded in it. So a couple different ways to hyperlink. Conditional formatting is up next. I know we're running out of time. Categories I did already. Flags. Okay, so I'm just going to get out of this real quick. Okay. I feel like conditional formatting's a big one, and I don't want to kind of hold anybody up. Flags, again, I'll go over quickly. If you just right click on an email, you can flag it by assigning it to kind of be a follow-up for that, for you, almost like a reminder. If you do flag it, you can then see it if you have the view on with the tasks here. So for example, if I flag this, it'll now show up under my tasks over here. And you can always change that by right-clicking, and depending on which date you would want to flag it for, or if you completed it, you can uncheck the flag. So another really great option. And that's it. Conditional formatting, I think, is a little bit of a big thing to talk about. I did a great What the Tech video on it. So I don't want to hold up anybody. We have 4 minutes, and I would definitely want to leave time for any questions and answers. So Cliff, do you think I'm going to go in and change the settings so you guys can unmute if you would like to? Just give me 1 second. Allow camera, allow
I think I
mic.
got it.
Okay, there you go. You guys should have the ability to unmute or turn on your camera if you want. If you have any questions, let me know. While you're doing that, I'm just going
I have
to.
one, but Joan had a question first, but I have a question also.
Perfect. Before you ask your question, just really quickly, I just want to give everybody a heads up that my section of the website has all of the resources that I ever kind of send out or talk about. I always have options and links. All of my video tips are archived here, and we have changed it to be really easy for you to navigate by putting the Microsoft app icon associated with the video right in the description. This Microsoft Tools and Resources section is just growing every day. So like I said, all of the things that I went over today, if you go under Microsoft Outlook, my videos regarding all of these things are here, and also the links all associated with that are also there. And
Theresa,
the
just
option to
before
suggest the topic is there. Sorry, go ahead.
question and answer is I have to jump into a 1 o'clock
Yep.
in 2 minutes, so I'm going to disappear at that point. But feel free to keep going.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, and then we had a question. So please,
Yep. Joan's
go ahead.
question was, can the person who sent the email see you flagged it for follow-up?
No, it's on your view.
Correct. Dr. Amarante?
All right, actually, I have two, but I'll start with this one.
No, you got to pay for the second, you know.
I have some extra Reese's here, so.
All right, good enough. Go ahead.
If you're setting up a rule, is there any way to set up a rule that can take emails that are not from the agency, not from massposties.org, and just put them in a separate folder to go through later?
So have you received the email that you would want sent
Yeah,
out?
Really good question.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I
Really
get
good
emails
question.
from all sorts of companies and things like. I just like to take the whole thing and just move it in one spot and look at them later without having to. Otherwise, it just mixes up with all the emails from I get internally.
Yes. You definitely can do that.
All right, so maybe I can stop by. You can show me.
Yep. Or if you want to schedule that, like book time with me and we'll do it together,
Sure.
that works too. Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll walk by later. How about that?
Sounds
Is
like a
that all right?
plan.
Okay.
Yes.
And the other thing was, I don't know, I may have mentioned this once before. I do have Outlook on my Android. There's just one thing people should know about it is you can't log off of it unless you delete it, unless they modified it. So it's basically always on.
Mm.
I don't like apps you can't log off. I like to, when I'm done with it, I like to log off, and if I have to go back in, I use the login and password, which to me is a lot safer in case you lose your phone. Otherwise, you lose your phone, someone gets in, everything is open in Outlook. So
So it doesn't let you,
log off unless you delete it
so there's
on
no way to
Android.
sign off? That's so interesting.
No, I
Hmm.
tried it. I tried it. Maybe if you try it too, but this is on Android. I don't know about iOS, but I didn't see any way to log
Yeah,
off of it.
iOS, I know for my iPhone personally, I'm always logged into the Outlook unless I go in and physically click sign out.
Yeah, I don't see a sign. I never saw a sign out on this unless I'm missing it. And I think I looked it up I did some quick checks on the internet, and it said that you had to log off. So if you see something, let me know, because I didn't see anything.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely, it
Yeah,
says,
that would,
yeah,
it's on
it
Android.
says you can sign out.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. I mean, that's the thing.
It's, let's see, Office mobile apps, iPhone, nope, Android. It says in the recent screen, tap the person icon,
Recent screen.
tap the
Hmm.
name, don't tap view profile. It says tap your name, don't tap view profile, and then sign out.
All right, I'll take a look. Can you send me the link to that where you're
Yeah,
looking
of
at?
course.
Because I don't see
Yep.
any of that there.
Yeah, I'll pop that into the chat
Yeah, thanks.
and just scroll down, obviously, to where you see for Android. See if that works. Let me know. Keep me
Will
posted.
do. I will. Thank you.
Yep, no
Oops,
problem.
where's my chat? Vanished.
Does
Here
anybody
it
else have
is.
any questions? I put the What the Tech link to the website in the chat as well. I have another webinar coming up on the 10th, I believe. Let me just double check. Yes, May 10th is the next webinar, so definitely register for that when you
10th?
have May 10th. Yep. So when you have
Okay.
a time, definitely register for that. The following one will be May 31st, but the link hasn't been set up for that one just yet. I've been trying to do them every 3-ish weeks, give or take. So, and the goal right now is just to make sure that everybody's kind of getting the app overviews, the basics, with a little bit of tips and tricks embedded in there. And then from there, we'll kind of build out and do more in deeper dives into things regarding the different apps based off the feedback that I get. So that is that. Does anybody else have any questions? Anything else? Like I said, just be on the lookout for that new desktop preview that they're pushing out, because apparently mine just showed up when I was trying to set up for this webinar, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to show them this new one. But what's very interesting about it is it looks just like the web version, which I find very, very interesting. If anybody wants to stay on for a second, I will share my screen real quick and I will let you guys see. So this is the new desktop application. So it'll give you the option for that classic view of the ribbon. You could do the simplified ribbon, which is almost identical to the web version. The only thing that looks very similar to the app, the current desktop app, is the way that this looks here, this bar. So just be on the lookout. It'll be a little toggle that comes up for you on the right-hand side. And you can always, keep it off. Or if it forces on, you can always turn it back off and get back to the original Outlook, which is nice. Excuse me. Yeah. I'll stay on if anybody else has any other questions. But like I said, the website is always an awesome resource. Ton of videos and links and information for you there. I'm always available. You can always send me an email. You can book time with me. I'm here for whatever you need. Thanks, Joan. Otherwise, have a great day, everyone. And thanks for coming and keep spreading the word about my webinars. Invite
All right.
people and encourage people to join.
All right. Thank you. That was very
Thanks,
good.
Andy.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
you later. I'll see you later. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Eileen. Thanks, Cynthia.
Theresa?
Yep.
Hi, just real quick. I'm sorry. I was
Oh,
just
sure.
playing with this while you were talking about it.
Yeah, no
Because
problem.
my Outlook, I think I just changed it back. I don't know. Let's see.
Did you get the
Because
preview? The new one?
my Outlook had changed. Yeah, it looked like that like 3 months ago.
This new
It
view?
changed to that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
Oh.
I searched all over the place. How do I get the old view back? How do I? And I could not.
Oh,
I could not find it. But now I see there's a little toggle at the upper right-hand corner that
you
said
should.
off. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
there. Like 3 months ago when I got this, I'm like, this is the worst. I want to change it. This is the worst.
Right, because if you're so used to the desktop version the way it is, then it's like
Yes.
a completely different, look. It's completely different.
Yes. Yes. So I was
For
like,
people who are used to
let
using
me
the
put
web
my
version,
screen
they're
on
gonna
the
love this.
camera so
Like,
you can see me.
yeah.
Okay. um, yes. So I was like, I think I just changed it though, because we'll bring over your settings from Classic Outlook for Windows. But can I go
Right.
back to the other one? Can I go back to
Well,
the new one?
that is the question because again, this literally just happened to me 5 minutes ago, and I was like, panicking because I didn't want to show you guys. I didn't
Yeah.
want to go through my little thing with the new one, right? Because then
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And so I logged into the new one with my training account, and now it's stuck
Oh.
there because the weird part is, in the old app version,
Uh-huh.
you click File, and that's how you can kind of change accounts if you need to.
Yes.
That what I'm not seeing is how to do that in the new one. So
Yeah.
that is what I have to figure out.
The settings from Classic. Yeah. I.
Uh,
Mm,
I think, yeah, I think that's going to be
I
thing
think
I have to
this is
look up.
slowly something getting pushed out, right? That's just kind of.
So this is the stuff that drives me bananas with Microsoft
I know.
because I like to try and at least get ahead of things a little bit if possible. The
Hmm.
problem is it's not like we even get warnings or anything
I
about a
know.
new update or anything that's being pushed out. It literally would just happen to us and we're like, and then
Hmm.
we're like, people are going to panic. Um, And rightfully so, because when you're comfortable
Yep.
doing something, then all of a sudden, listen, if the look of it changes, meaning like, oh, they rounded out a button or something, I don't think that's a big, crisis. But if you're changing, I mean, this is a completely different feel and look.
Hmm.
That should be something that, gets sent to our organization by saying something like, hey, just let your domain know that in the next month, they're going to
Yeah.
get this new view. Right? Like the problem
Yep.
is we'll get the updates and stuff, but it won't tell us when that's happening. And
Hmm.
I just saw this new version kind of be announced like a day or two ago. So I didn't expect it to come. I didn't expect to see it. And now you're telling me you got it 3 months ago.
Yeah. 3 months ago,
Crazy.
I remember exactly when I got it because I'm like, what is this? Why does it look like this?
That is
How
so
do we?
funny.
Um. But now I'm gonna see if I actually. What did it do?
So you saw a section where it said to go back to Classic Outlook.
So now I'm on New Outlook. So now if you turn off New Outlook, yeah, at the upper right-hand corner, that's where you can turn it off, right? Turn off New
Yeah, see,
Outlook.
but I don't even see that. I only see it
That's the way it was for me. That's
I only see that option in my old desktop version, not in the new one.
in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the option to turn on and off.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Oops.
So
Oh gosh, I
bananas.
just closed out again. Oh, it turned up.
So,
Try new Outlook. Oh, maybe it'll. I don't know.
right?
It's weird. It's weird.
So
It's
I
weird.
was like, oh, figures the one day I'm doing an Outlook training, Microsoft decides to
That's the
change
way it
Outlook.
is. That's the way it is. Yeah,
I was like, it couldn't
exactly.
be a PowerPoint training today. No, it had to be an Outlook training
Exactly.
today, and they had to change. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, thank goodness it wasn't my other account, so that I had the option to use that one.
Yeah.
But I like to use my training account because then I can
Yeah.
actually do things and it's not affecting my, my actual account.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kind of is annoying, but made it work. But now I'm like, I have to figure out more about this because I definitely think we should probably let people know that this might be coming out. The
Yeah.
problem is,
Maybe
again, we don't have an idea of when. It's
we
more
don't
of
know
like,
when
hey, right.
it gets rolled out.
It's
But
like
maybe we can definitely do a webinar on that one. This one, the new one.
exactly. Because it does look different. And if people have no experience using the web version at all, they're really going to be kind of confused, I think, because
Yep.
it does look so
Mhm.
different.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely something we will be discussing ASAP for sure. For sure.
Awesome.
Yep. So
Okay.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Look
no
forward to the
problem. It was
next
nice
one.
meeting you. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.